Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Nate here from Nate Coolin' It, and today I'm going to be coming in with a story time about the worst smoke sesh I've ever had in my entire life. Like, it wasn't even worth it. Like, it was awful. But before we get into the story, let's take a hit of the day, which is on my Mint Posh. You already know I stay rocking with a mint. Ooh, that's smacking. Alright, but without further ado, let's hop right into the video. So, this takes place at Subway. It's where I used to work, or I kind of still work there. Not important to the story, though. So, this takes place about, I'd say 6 months ago, I believe, around that time frame. And it was me and let's just give him a name. Let's call him John. So, it was me, John. John's my homie. We go to school together, same age. He's dope as shit. And then we also had our manager, let's call her Patricia. She's the same one I smoke with. I don't remember the name I gave her in that video, so I'm just going to call her Patricia in this one. So it's me, John, and Patricia. So I get there before all of them, and then it's just me and Patricia, right? And then this other kid walks in the door, and what name are we gonna give him? Actually, nah, fuck him. He's kind of a dickhead. Let's call him Alex. He's a bitch. So Alex walks through the door, and I'm like, "What are you doing here? Isn't John supposed to be here, not you?" And he was like, yeah, I thought the schedule said it had my name on it." And I looked at the schedule, and it didn't have his name on it. And he was bitching and complaining to me and Patricia about how he had a bike there. And it was a nice day outside, and he's not like he's athletic, so I don't understand why he's throwing such a hissy fit about it. But like, he was whining, bitching, pissing, and moaning about having to bike there. And then John arrives through the door, and John has a car. And when John gets there, he's like, "Yo, Alex, why are you here?" And he was like, "I thought I had to work today, but now I have to bike home." And me, Patricia, go in the back and start talking about it, and John goes and clocks in, right? And Alex goes and sits down at one of the booths. And me and Patricia are talking about how pissy he is and just how ridiculous he's being, right? And then John walks back there, and Alex doesn't walk back there because he's not on a shift. So John walks back there, and talking to us, and Patricia brings up like, "Hey John, you have a car, right?" And John's like, "Yeah." So Patricia tells John that he can stay clocked in, and if he takes Alex home. So John agrees, and he takes Alex home, right? So after that, he takes Alex home, whatever, gets back. And when he gets back, there's a huge line of people. Me and Patricia are working our asses off. He was gone for way too long because Alex is a dumbass and doesn't know his address. But yeah, that's besides the point. So John gets back and he starts making subs. And I moved to the register because it doesn't require that much effort. And I was kind of tired because I had to work the day prior to this one. So when John gets there and he hops on the vegetables, because you guys know how Subway works, where you do the meats on one part and then the vegetables on the other side. So so Patricia does the meats and hands off the sub to do the vegetables to John. So John puts the vegetables on and whatnot, and the first sub he makes, he goes to cut it in half, as you know how Subway does, right? And when he goes to cut it in half, he slices his thumb so deep he needed stitches for sure. But he didn't get stitches, but I'll get into that. So he cuts his thumb really bad, and he just jumps up and runs into the back room. And I'm kind of confused to why he was acting like that. I was like, what the fuck? And Patricia knew exactly what happened. She was like, "Oh, are you okay?" And she runs back there to help him. So I stay out there and I help all the customers. And I finish them all up, and then I go back there, and there's John holding a bunch of paper towels over his thumb with blood all over the floor. And I'm like, how bad is it? And he takes the paper towels off, and he shows me, and you could see, like, the purple flesh in his finger. It was so fucked up. It was messed up, dude. And he was just holding the paper towels on there. And Patricia was like, "You know what? You're probably going to have to call I don't know what it's called. I think the department head or whatever." It was our higher up manager. So not Patricia, but the one higher up than her. And John was just begging Patricia to not make us call the higher up manager, because then John would have to go home, and John wanted to stay there just for the simple fact because his plug wanted to come through, or not his plug, but he wanted his plug to come through and sell him some. So that's the only reason he wanted to stay there, is he would have been up and gone. But somehow he convinces Patricia to not make him go home. So they go into the office where all the first aid kit stuff is and whatnot. And he comes out and his thumb, it was nuts. It looked like he covered his thumb in a tennis ball with how much band-aids were on his thumb. It was nutty. It was kind of funny though. So after that, he comes back behind the line and you could see blood dripping out of his bandage. So he has to go back into the office, tape it up some more, and he just looked like a dumbass. But that's besides the point. So we go through the rest of the day, and the rest of the day was busy as hell. I mean, his thumb was fine. It wasn't like he was dying or anything. It eventually stopped after like an hour or two. But yeah, he definitely should have got stitches. But anyway, so we keep going through the day, and it was busy as hell this night, and we were stressed out because we also had another kid who came in and worked too, but he was only 15, so he could only work 3 hours. He's not really important to the story, that's why I didn't name him. And he didn't do fucking anything of what he was supposed to do, so that means we had to do his job for him. And that kind of fucked us over because then we had to do our shit too. So at the end of the night at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. when Subway closes, it was 6:59, right? Actually, yeah, it was 6:59. So this lady comes through the door, and this lady must have been 60, 70 years old, somewhere in there, right? And she walks through the door, and she comes up to order, and we say, oh, sorry, we're closed. But we weren't even started to close yet. And then she started arguing with us, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, it's 6:59, whatever, I'm not gonna let this lady fuck with us. So I wasn't gonna let this lady mess up our close because she wants a sub. Nah, we close at a certain time. So I kept telling her, like, no, you gotta leave, it's 7, and she kept being so argumentative with me, talking shit to me, saying how, oh, you dumb, stupid shit, you don't know anything, you should respect your elders, and just weird shit like, or not weird shit, but just dumb shit like that. Like, yes, I understand, but you also got to understand, I got a job I have to do, right? So eventually we get her to fuck off, but not before she says she's going to call our manager the next day. So anyways, she fucks off. And after she fucks off is right when the homie's plug slides through. So he slides through and he gets a cart. And I know y'all are going to say fuck carts, whatnot, but whatever. You know what? I like carts. They smack. I got respect for all well, fuck, I'm stuttering like a motherfucker. I got respect for all sorts of THC, no matter what form it comes in. But that's besides the point. But yeah, homie got a cart, and we finish up the day. We hop in his car, and he goes to take me home. And right when he pulls up in front of my driveway, I'm like, yo, stop, don't go there. I thought we were going to smoke. And he's like, oh yeah. So he pulls up in my driveway and turns around. And my parents are strict as hell when it comes to this kind of shit. Like, they don't let me stay out, like, past a certain time. And if I'm a minute late, they are going to freak out on me, fucking slap the shit out of me. I don't know what the fuck they'll do. But that's besides the point. And so he turns around in my driveway, and he goes and he parks around the block. And when he goes to park right next to the curb, he fucking scrapes the curb so hard with his tires and wheel. The whole, let me think here. The right side of his wheel and car, or not car. The right side of right rims and wheels were all scraped to fuck. His rims had like, or not his rims, but his front rim, it had like a chip in it, like, or not, like a piece like broke off. His tires were just like scraped to shit. Looked like it just had a bunch of like threads hanging out of it. I was like, oh my god, you retard. But anyways, we get out, inspect the damage. He's like, oh shit, maybe I'm too high to drive. And I was, because he hit the cart before we came and smoked, and I was like, nah, you're good. Yeah, just some stupid shit. Don't, if you think a homie's too intoxicated, don't tell him he's good enough to drive. Pro tip out there. But yeah, we sit there and we hit the cart so many times, right? And then after that, he pulls around the block to take me home. And my parents knew that I was with him and that he was going to take me home. But they thought it was just going to be, oh, right after you get out of work, he's going to take you home? Okay, cool. So he takes me home. And right when he pulls up in front of my house, he didn't pull into the driveway this time. I was like, yo, take a picture of my eyes. I want to see how red they are. And he has his flash on. And his car is completely dim except for the flash that hit my eyes. So when he took a picture of me, I look at his phone, I see my eyes are bloodshot red, and then I get out of the car, and I look up, and my parents are sitting on the front stoop, having a square. And I was like, oh my fucking God, I got caught. No, fuck. So I go up there, say, hi, Mom. Hi, let's give my stepdad name. Let's call him Billy. Hi, Mom. Hi, Billy. What's up? And they say, nothing much, whatever. We talk a little bit. And then I go in my room. And, I'm just chilling because I think, like, fuck yeah, they didn't catch me. I'm stoned. It's going to be a great night. But I'm sitting there, hitting my nick, watching some YouTube. God knows what. Probably fucking, dope as Yola, probably. Shuttle that man. That man's a fucking inspiration. But anyway, so I'm sitting there watching YouTube, hitting my nick, doing whatever. And my mom opens my bedroom door to come and say goodnight. And she just does this to be nosy. I know that. And she just opens it, she looks at me, says goodnight, and then she flips on my light. And I looked like I was sleeping. Like, I not exactly looked like I was sleeping, but like I looked like I was ready for bed. Like I was in my bed, had my phone just on my phone. And she has the audacity to flip the light on, and she was like, did you and Noah go for a burn ride or something? And I was like, huh? Because, like, I didn't put two and two together because I was stoned, obviously. And then she looked at me, and I was like, oh. I didn't say oh out loud, but I was thinking, I was like, oh. And I was like, no. And she was like, your eyes look red. And she just slammed my door and went to bed. And that was pretty much it. But I was just laying there, and I was like, fuck, dude, this day was shitty. Homie cut his thumb open. This one bitch came and harassed us at the end of the day. Dude fucking scraped his car. I got caught being high. I was like, what else could possibly go wrong? And nothing else went wrong that night, thankfully. But that's about it in this story. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. And hope you all have a smacking ass day. See you next time.